Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day to everyone, especially madam. Okay, how are you guys? For time being, I hope you all just stay at home and watch our presentations. Okay? Okay. I will start to introduce my group. My name is Muhammad Daniel Fitri bin Muhammad Naha, and at my left is Azrin, and my right is Azlan Ibrahim. Okay, today we want to present to you all about chapter 2, market oriented strategic planning. Okay, we start from the slide 1. Okay, firstly we go to the strategic planning, which is got 8 categories. Okay, first is a mission statement. What is the mission statement? Mission statement is a brief descriptions of your company. That's mean what the missions of your company. Okay, for the second is vision statement. Vision statement is a picture of your company, your inspirations, company inspirations, and then also the framework, all strategic planning of your company. Okay, and then third is strategic drivers. That's mean I give you the keywords is guide, strategic guiders. Okay, that's mean who the guides of your strategic company. Okay, and then for fourth is the critical business issue. That's mean the problem, a big problem or the critical problem that can impact of your company, so you need to know, so you can survive or you can get more ready when the critical business issue coming to your business. Okay, for the fifth is critical success factors. That means you need to identify what really matters for success. That means this word I think you all knows and then you can understand. Okay, for the sixth is SWOT analysis. What is a SWOT? SWOT is a stand for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And is a technique for assessment this for aspect of your business. Okay, and then for the seven is long-term objective. That's mean the your long-term's goal. I can give you the simple words that can input to your straightly into your brain. That's mean long-term goals. What is your company long-term goals? Okay, and then last is a tactical initiative. That's mean initiative or your company initiative or actions that one day if your company get a major impact, so you can know what's your initiative or actions. Okay, we go to the next slide. Okay, for the second slide is the nature of high performance businesses. Okay, first here got four categories. That means stakeholders, processes, resources, and organization culture. For the stakeholders is to set the strategies to satisfy the stakeholder groups. Okay, for the second is processes. Processes that mean improving the critical business. Okay, business. Okay, for the third is resources. Resources, the words you need to highlight is the aligning resources. You just highlight the aligning resources and organizations. Aligning, the words aligning. Okay, and the last is organizations and organization cultures. That's me managing organizations and organization culture very well. Okay, we go to the slide 4, which is Azrin will presents for you.
So without further ado, let me start my first slide for corporate strategic planning process. As you can see from the slide, in the nutshell, there are 4 major processes for corporate strategic planning process. The first one, establishing a corporate vision. Second, strategic business unit or SBU. The third one, assign resources to each SBU. And last but not least, business growth. So I will brief in detail each of this process on my next slide. So the first process is establishing corporate mission, objective and goals. Normally, top management will prepare the statement of visions, objective and goals that play the roles of a framework within which division and business unit to prepare their plan. So basically, corporate mission, objective and goals normally used by companies to set the directions. So it makes clear to subordinates or business unit to prepare their plans, right? So in order for them to set corporate missions, objective and goals, there are some fundamental questions that they normally use. For example, what is our business, who's the customer, what is the value to the customer, and what will be business, what should our business be. So there are few fundamental questions that used by the organization in order for them to set the goals, objective and corporate mission. So second process is establishing strategic business unit or SBU. So SBU is a distinct business unit of the business organization in the form of subsidiary company, departments, divisions or product line with specific product market focus and independent authority and responsibility for the manager to take a business decision. For example, Johor Corporation, they have a few businesses under them and they have established few subsidiary company. For example, KPG Holding, Kulims and many more. So each subsidiary company run its function similar like SBU. So divisions, if I can share some of the example like under Telecom Malaysia. So Telecom Malaysia divided their businesses into two, to cater for government as well as small medium enterprise, which focus for business or private company. Okay, so for SBU, there are three characteristics. The first one is separate responsibility for strategic planning and profit performance and profit influencing factors. So this is basically focusing on specific manager to take or to make decision and responsibility for different functions. So second one, separate set of competitors. So each SBU they have a different set of competitors. And the last one, a single business or a collection of related businesses which offer scope of independent strategic planning from remaining organization. So this is basically some of the SBU they run single businesses and some of the SBU they run collection of related businesses. So the third process is assigning resources to each SBU. So normally management to decide how to allocate corporate resources in order to develop separate strategies and assign appropriate funding. This is for investment decision. So there are two base known business portfolio which normally used by the company. The first one is Boston Consulting Groups or BCG Group Share Metrics. The second one, General Electric Models or known as GE Metrics. So I will elaborate more on Business Consulting Group and GE Metrics. Boston Consulting Group's BCG Growth Share Metric was developed by Bruce Henderson of the Boston Consulting Group in the early 1970s. So according to this technique, businesses or products are classified as low or high performer depending upon their share growth rate and relative market share. So in order for you to understand Boston metric, you need to understand how market share and market growth interrelate. As you can see from the slide, there are two indicators in BCG metric. The first one is market share, percentage of the market controlled or penetrated by your company. The higher your market shares, the higher proportion of the market that you control. So the second one is market growth rate. So market growth rate is to identify market attractiveness. A market become attractive and it expanding. It potentially create more opportunity to the company. So there are four components in BCG metric, which is star, question marks, cash cows, and dogs. So as for the star, it is high growth and high share. Companies should invest significantly in these stars as they have high future potentials. And then followed by question marks, which is high growth but low shares. So invest in or discard these question marks depending on their chances of becoming stars. So this stage basically companies must identify whether they have to invest or they have to discard. So they have to make decisions, right? So third one, cash cows, which basically referring to low growth and high share. So companies should milk these cash cows for cash to reinvest. Alright. The last one's dogs. So dogs is referring to low shares and low growth. So companies should liquidate, divest or reposition these pets. Right. So in this stage, company have a very low performer, which is they have low growth rate and low market share. So they need to liquidate or divest. Right. So next is GE metrics or business portfolio metrics. So in GE metrics, there are two indicators, which is market attractiveness and business unit strength. So GE metric will emphasize on business unit capability as well as market attractiveness. There are three stages: medium, high, and low. So as you can see from the figure, there are three different color which determine or represent decision of the company. So green is whether company to invest or grow, blue to hold, and orange to harvest or sell. So this will determine decision of the company. So if they sit in high business unit and high market attractiveness, they definitely go for invest. Or if they sit in low business unit strength and low market attractiveness, whether they will hold or they will harvest or sell the business. So GE metrics versus BCG metrics. So as you can see, GE McKinsey metrics does not only consider growth, it's mainly focus on attractiveness, market attractiveness. So if you look at BCG metrics, they focus on is either products or company growth, while GE metrics focusing on market trend, right? Next, in addition to market share, GE McKinsey also consider strength of business unit. So apart from focusing on long-term business market attractiveness, they also focusing on strength or capability of the business unit. It's either subsidiary companies, divisions or departments or etc. Right. Instead of 4 cells created by BCG metrics, GE McKinsey also created 9 cells. So which means that they are more focused. They divided the market activeness and business unit in three stages, whether high, medium, and low. Alright. So last process is planning for our business growth. So there's three type of business growth, which is intensive growth, integrative growth, and diversification. So intensive growth is referring to potential growth with current business, and integrative growth focusing on potential growth from other businesses related to current business, while diversification growth is referring to potential growth from diversifying activities unrelated with current business. So the first one is intensive growth. So basically, incentive growth strategy a business plan designed to improve business performance of the company, bringing the highest gain with the least amount of effort and risk. So this includes strategy for market penetrations, product developments, and market development, as well as diversification. So as you can see from NSERF metrics, there are four main components of this metric. The first one is market penetration, market development, product development, and diversification. So it divided into four groups, which is existing market, new market, or existing products or new products. Alright. As for market penetration strategy, so the first strategies companies is looking for a depth of increasing their sales and profits. So marketing effort of these companies is to offer existing products in the current market is called market penetration. So they are in the same or in current games. Games means that their market. Alright. Second is market development strategy. So this strategy is basically developing a new market for existing companies' products, which the process of finding a new market for the new customers to increase companies' performance by increasing sales and profits. So this is focusing on new market. Alright. It can be developed via geographicals or demographicals, for example, genders, age, or city or countries, right? Product development, when the current market showing interest in new products, so then product developments will be used by companies to increase its customer base. For example, like smartphone or gadget or device. So as you can see, a smartphone is very popular now, but some of the companies, they are emphasizing on product development, so they keep increasing or developing new technology of these products. So next is integrative growth. It is referring to company which may acquire one or more of its suppliers to gain more control or generate more profit. In other words, integrations. Alright, so there's three types of integrative growth. The first one is backward vertical integration. Second is backward forward integration, and last is horizontal integration. So the first one is vertical integration is the strategy used by the companies to gain control over its suppliers or distributor in order to increase their sales or power in the marketplace. Alright, so on top of that, it can also reduce transaction costs and secure the supplies or distribution channels. In other words, they are controlling the whole supply chain. Alright. Second one is forward integrations. Basically the strategy where the firm gains ownerships or increase control over its previous customer. It's mainly focusing on distributor or retailers. while horizontal integrations basically focusing on pursuing companies in order to strengthen its position in industry. So a corporate that implement this kind of strategy usually focusing on merging or mergers or acquiring another companies that is in the same production stage. For example, like ExxonMobil. If you heard about ExxonMobil, Exxon is focusing on oil productions. Mobil is focusing on refining or distributions. Alright, that's one of the example of this horizontal integrations. So last but not least is diversification growth. So this strategy that involve entering into a new market or industry, so one that your business doesn't currently operate in, while also creating new products for that market. So in other words, this strategy involve widening the scope of organizations across different products and market sectors. So there's three type of diversification growth. The first one is concentric diversifications. So basically this strategy or diversifications which through enlarging the production portfolio by adding new products with the aim of fully utilizing the potential of existing technology and marketing systems. So it is occurs when organizations add related products or market. So the goal of this diversification strategy is to achieve a strategic fit, which allows organization to achieve a synergy. Right. For example, like Apple products, like iPhones and iPads. So both are two different products, and then both also capturing two different customers. All right. Sometimes they share customers and both have their own features. All right. So next is horizontal diversification. So horizontal diversification occurs when organizations enter to new business, either related or unrelated, at the same stage of production of its current operations. Alright, it is also involve acquiring or developing new products or offerings, new service that could appeal to the organization's current customer group. Right. The last one is conglomerate diversification. So it is related to moving to new products or service that have no technologicals or commercial relation with current products, equipments, distribution channels, but which may appeal to new group of customers. Alright, the major motive behind of this diversification strategy is the high returns on investment in the new industries. On top of that, decision to go for this kind of diversification strategy can lead to additional opportunities indirectly related to the further developing the main business of organization, such as accessing to new technologies, opportunities for strategic partnership. For example, Adidas. It used to known that Adidas, one of the well-known sports equipments. However, Adidas also diversify its business while producing personal care products like body spray or perfumes. So certain angles they look for strategic partnerships as well as venturing into new technology.
Hello everyone, I'm Azlan Ibrahim. I would like to explain about business unit strategy planning process. In the business unit strategy, we have a 7 step. First is missions. Every company they must have to set up their business missions. In the business mission, every company they must know first who are their customer and target. Second, business nature. Third is the business directions. For example, the most international sport brand Nike, their target customer is motorsport and healthy lifestyle. Business nature is a motorsport and casual attire and the sport stuff. Okay, now we move to the SWOT analysis. In the SWOT analysis, we have two internal environment analysis and the external environment analysis. An internal analyst examines your organization internal environment in order to assess its resources, competence, and the competitive advantages. Okay, now we have to understand why the company have to conduct an internal analysis. As I mentioned earlier, an internal analysis will highlight an organization's strength and weakness. In this area of there are competencies, resources and competitive advantages. A company must have to know what they are weakness and their strength to overcome their competitors in from the outside. Okay, now I want to explain about external environment analysis. Okay, external environment analysis is a primary study and analysis of macro environment force, industry analysis and competitor analysis in preview of organization growth. Dalam bahasa yang paling mudah ialah external environment analysis ini ialah analisis berkenaan dengan rangsangan ataupun faktor-faktor daripada luaran organisasi yang tidak boleh dikawal. Contohnya seperti ekonomi, sosial dan culture, demografi, political ataupun legal and the technology. Sebagai contoh, kita ambil ekonomi. Sekiranya Malaysia tidak mampu mengawal ekonomi global ataupun ekonomi yang telah dipusatkan di Amerika Syarikat. Global pula sebagai contohnya ialah harga minyak global yang tidak boleh dikawal oleh sesuatu organisasi kerana ia melibatkan harga yang ditentukan oleh global ataupun seluruh dunia. Okay, second step in business unit strategy is a SWOT analysis. To manage efficient strategy, company has to set their marketing objective. The next step for firm is to conduct a situation analysis. Analysts help the firm to understand the market situations. SWOT analysis is a strength, weakness, opportunity and the threats. What is the strength? Strength is a factor in the company that can help into the success. Weakness, the factor that will probably make a company fail. To identify the strength and the weakness, a firm looks at all area within the internal and environment like products, costs, marketing skills, and the finance resources. Example, strong financial standing is a firm internal strength because their firm has enough money to undertake a business activities. Opportunities is a favorable situation that the firm should be capitalized on in order to make profit. Example, government bonds. The threat is the unfavorable situations that the firm should be beware. For example, competitor has a new technology. Alright, the next step is the goal formulations. In the goal formulation, we have a three approach. And number one is a top to down approach. Number two is bottom to up approach. And the lastly is a managed by the objective. Okay, number one is a top down approach. Top down approach is a directive approach. Under this approach, the top manager or the top executive, they have to develop and incorporate the goals and disseminate them to the middle and lower level manager for implementations. Bottom to up approach. Alright, bottom to up approach is the participatory approach. Under this approach, functional workers formulate the goal for the operations and the passes to the top level of management. Alright, the lastly, management by the objective, we call as a MBO. Initially suggested by Peter Drucker in 1960. This is the process under which both top level and lower level management join together to formulate a goal for the organizations. Alright, now we have to move to the next step, which is strategy formulations. Alright, what is the strategy formulations? Let me explain a little bit about the strategy formulations. Alright, strategy formulations is the process by which an organization to choose the most appropriate course of action to achieve the goal as a defined. This is a process very essential to an organization to success because this provide a framework for the actions will be taken. In the strategy formulation, we have to define the strategy. We have to define the strategy objective. We have to define the competitive, and then we have to implement and evaluations. Alright, now we move to the next step in the unique strategy, okay, which is a program formulations. What is the program formulations? Program formulation is the process of the choosing the who, what, how, when, and where of pursuing program objective. For example, what is the culture and the policy approach? What is the expected quality standard and how to achieve it? How will be the project and the program be monitoring? How will the organization learn from the program? And how across the sector issue of the development consideration in the program? Okay, now I'm going to explain another step for business unit strategy, which is implementations. Alright, what is the implementations? Implementation is the process that turns strategy and plan into the actions to accomplish strategy objectives and the goal. Alright, once the business unit has developed its the principal strategies, it must work out detailed support program. A great marketing strategy can be a sabotage by poor implementations. And lastly, if the unit has decided to attain technology leadership, and then they must to proceed for their implementations. Alright, now we in the last step for business unit strategy planning process, which is feedback and control. Alright, after the organization decide to do the implementations, now they have to get the feedback and have to control. Alright, for example, like McDonald's. Okay, the McDonald's decide to produce the new product, for example, the chicken spicy. So they have to control. Okay, they have to get the feedback from the customer. Alright, from the feedback they get from the customer, they have to do the improvement and have to control. As the implementation is a strategy, a firm needs to track the result and monitor the new developments. Alright, lastly, I'm going to explain about product planning. Product planning is the process of creating a product ideas and following through on it until the product is introduced to the market. A marketing plan may be part of a overall business planning. A marketing plan also have to be comprehensive, and marketing plan must include first customer oriented and second competitor oriented. Customer oriented is based on the level of age, demography, and then the race of culture. Alright, the competitor oriented is depends, like for example McDonald and Mary Brown's. Lastly, I'm going to say thank you for you guys. I hope that you guys can learn something from this explanation a little bit. Alright, and have a good luck.
Okay, we go to the next slide, which is past year exam. Azrin will present to you about the past year exam for our chapter.
So let's proceed for past year question. So for chapter 2, there's two question appeared in past year questions, December 2019, which is question 1A and 1B. So question 1A, a business portfolio normally consists of several SBU. Describe an SBU and its characteristic. So as you can see here, there's two main points that you have to pay more attention. The first one, definition of SBU, as well as its characteristics. So as you can refer to previous slide, SBU is a fully functional units of a business that has its own vision and direction, such as subsidiary company, departments, division, or product line with a specific market focus. So the keywords here that you have to remember is a fully functional unit. So SBU is a fully functional unit of a business. Alright, at least you have to remember simple words, fully functional units, in order for you to define what is SBU. Alright, there are three main characteristics. The first one is separate responsibility. Second, separate sets of competitors. Third is single business or collection of related businesses. So you can take note these three main point for characteristic of strategic business unit. So let's proceed for question number 1B. With the aid of diagram, explain how marketer use Boston Consulting Group's BCG metrics to evaluate current SBU. So you have to remember BCG metrics, which consists of 4 quadrants and 2 indicators. So the 4 quadrant is stars, question marks, cash cow, and dogs. While the 2 indicators, which is market growth and market share. So you have to remember BCG metrics, then you can answer this question. Right. As for star, it is referring to high market share and high market growth. Question mark referring to low market share and high market growth. Cash cows referring to high market share and low market growth. Dogs are referring to low market share and low market growth. Alright, these are the important quadrant that you have to remember. So in order for marketers to evaluate the current SBU, there are 5 main steps can be used for BCG metrics. So the first one is choose the unit. Second is define the market. Third, calculate relative market share. 4, find out the market growth. Last but not least, draw the circles on the matrix. So how marketers use BCG metrics? So there are 5 main steps to use BCG metrics. So the first one is choose the unit. BCG metrics can be used to analyze SBUs, separate brands, products, or firm as a unit itself. So which unit will be chosen will have impact on the whole analysis. So BCG metrics can be used to analyze SBU. For example, if you choose Johor Corporation as one organization, so there are many subsidiaries company under Johor Corporation which run their own functions or business. That's what we call strategic business unit, such as KPJ, which focusing on healthcare and hospitals, QSR focusing on quick service restaurant like KFC or Pizza Hut, and they also have Kulim, is focusing on palm oil and ship marines. Johor Land focusing on residential development and commercial development. So each SBU run different sets of businesses. Alright, so for top management to evaluate their performance, they can use BCG metrics. So they have to locate the respective SBU in BCG metrics. Alright, so second, define the market. Defining the market is one of the most important things to do in this analysis. This is because incorrect defined market may lead to poor classifications. Alright, they have to know how to define the market. Alright, step 3, calculate relative share market. Relative share market can be calculated in terms of revenue or market share. It is calculated by dividing your own brand's market share in terms of revenue by market share or revenue of your largest competitor in that industries. So how to calculate market share? So the formula is that business unit sales this year divided your competitors sales this year. So from there you can determine how much your market share. Alright. Step 4, find out market growth rate. So the industry growth rate can be found in industry reports. It can also be calculated by looking at average revenue growth by leading industry firms. Therefore, when doing the analysis, you should find out the growth rate is as seen as significant or midpoint to separate cash cows from star and question marks as well as dogs. Alright. So how to calculate market growth rate? So the formula to calculate market growth rate is individual sales this year minus individual sales last year divided individual sales last year. Alright. So from there you can define your market growth rate. Alright. So last but not least, step 5, draw the circles on the matrix. After calculating all measure, you should be able to plot your brands on the matrix. It's either your brands or your SBU, whether it is located in stars or cash cows or dogs. So each quadrant have their own strategies, whether you have to proceed or organization have to proceed with market penetration, product developments, or exit or diverse as well as mergers. Alright. So if they sit in stars or question marks, probably they will focus more on integrations or product developments or market penetrations. Or if they sit in docs, probably you have to merger or you have to diverse or exit the market. Alright.
Okay, that's all from us. Hopefully you all enjoys our presentations and get some input from our chapters. Last word from me is just stay at home, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep positive. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.